Hi everyone, Retromir here again, back again with another pickups video. This time we are CEX hunting in my hometown, which is Sutton Coldfield. Now, as you may have seen in the previous video, we were CEX hunting in Solihull. However, that actually occurred on Sunday, and I actually went to my hometown CEX on Saturday. But I actually recorded these videos in reverse order, hence you're seeing this pickup video actually after the Sunday's video, which is okay. You can always go back to it I'll have a link at the end of this video. So this time when I went to CEX, I actually went there twice. I always go there twice whenever I do visit it. So I went in, saw some games that seemed of my liking that could add into my collection or use as trade bait in the future, and then I went back again. The reason why I went back again is because, as I've mentioned multiple times on this channel, a lot of the games in CEX are not actually kept in the windows, in the shelves. You actually have to ask for them, and they're kept in drawers which you have no way of knowing that those games are there unless you've asked for them or you've done some research on their website. So I'll go through the games with you, but I have a short clip of my visit to CEX, which I'll play to you now. As you can see, the store was quite busy, and I had to wait there for quite a while in the queues. Both times that I actually went, I had to wait quite a long time, but it was okay. I had nothing else to do, so it was no big deal. And as the title of this video demonstrates, that in this pickup I do find some really nice PS1 games, and some of these games are not necessarily the most common games. They are a little bit uncommon. But before we get into the juicy stuff, which is the PSP and the PS1 games, let's go through the games that I picked up the first time I went into this store. So we have two PlayStation 3 games, and the first one is Tales of Xillia. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Let me know. And this is the back. And it is fully complete. I thought the disc wasn't there for a second, but it just got stuck to the other side. Fully complete, and I haven't played a Tales game for a long time, so I'm not too sure when I'll get around to them, because I still haven't even played the latest Final Fantasies, which is my favourite franchise for RPGs, but I'm sure I can give this a go, and I paid £15 for this. The second game which I picked up is a fighter, and that is, I'm sure most of the collectors on the PS3 will probably already have this in your collection, and that is Mortal Kombat, and it's the complete edition. I'm not too sure whether the downloads would be still available. I assume it would all come in the disc, and this was £20. This was £20, and that's it at the back. Once again, fully complete with a manual, and interestingly, it's got a leaflet for Lollipop Chainsaw, which I actually own on the PS3 as well. The price for that game has gone up considerably in the last 2-3 years, and the disc is in pretty much mint condition. So those were 2 PlayStation 3 games that I picked up from Sutton Coldfield. Whenever I go there, if I see any Wii U games which are cheap or classic franchise games, popular games, dirt cheap, I'll just pick them up. And as you have seen, I've picked quite a few copies of this in the past for £4, and I saw another one, so I picked it up again. And this is simply used as trade bait. I have lots of copies for the of this game, which I simply use to trade for other games whenever the time comes. And everything inside is still, the pin is still unscratched. So in good condition with the instructor's manual. Glad to have that. That was the only Wii U game that I actually picked up, because I think I've pretty much cleared them out for the last few weeks that I've been going there. We have one Xbox 360 game, a game that I already own, but it was only £2.50, and it was the Steelbook version, and that is Fallout 4. Everything's in really nice condition, everything's inside, and that was only £2.50, and I thought, why not? Then we have 3 original Xbox games that I've picked up. The first one is Battle Engine, which was £5. Not too sure if I've played this somehow in the past, but the case is very familiar, so I'm not too sure if I have actually played this game in the past. This was £5, and everything's there in really good condition as well. Back. Next game, which I'm pretty sure I don't have in my collection, and that is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. I haven't actually played this one, I haven't played any of the new ones. I played Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus on the PS1. They're amazing games in terms of atmosphere. Those 2D platformers were, well, I actually found them a little bit creepy because the whole story is a little bit messed up. But I love the whole Abe, the Oddworld franchise, so I thought I'd try this out, and this is what it looks like at the back. Everything is complete, and as I mentioned, this was £6, so I thought, why not? It's a game which I'm pretty sure I don't have in my collection, so I thought I definitely would pick this up. Next game, I still haven't checked. I need to go behind because I have lots of games in different places. My games room is not necessarily in order at this stage. I keep saying I'm going to get it in order, but then I work from home most of the time, and then as I'm working, I get carried away working, and I never actually get around to sorting all my games out in alphabetical order, in any real order. They're just generally together, and that's about it. So I still haven't checked. I can check behind me if I have this, but I'm pretty sure I don't, and that is Star Wars Obi-Wan on the original Xbox, and this was £8. This was £8. Boxed and complete. Manual's a bit scruffy, but I'm not really that fussed about it. And if you want to know, this is what it looks like on the back, if you can see these pictures. So yeah, Obi-Wan. That was the last original Xbox game that I picked up. Next, probably I think the most expensive game that I've actually picked up in this entire bundle, at CEX, both times I went. This is probably the most expensive game. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure it is. And I picked this up purely for the condition. When I saw it, I was like, I need to get that because I have this game already, but this will certainly be an upgrade. And that is Pikmin 2. And you probably can't tell, but this case and the artwork is in immaculate condition. It's like it hasn't ever been played. This was £45. So as I mentioned, probably the most expensive game on the Gamecube. And inside, just to show you as it's the most expensive, comes with the manual, the black leaflet, the Pikmin card, not too sure what that is about, and the poster. And that's a pretty cool little poster for Zelda with some games on the back. As I mentioned, the main reason I picked this up because it's a condition upgrade, because for my version I'm sure I only have the manual and none of the extra inserts inside, and I know for a fact that the artwork on my Pikmin 2 is not in such great condition like this copy. Let me check the disc. The disc is also, there's not even a single mark on it. So as I mentioned, I think it's one of those games that people trade in where they probably never played. And during this first visit, I picked up 6 PSP games. I'll leave the best one, which I think is the best two, at the last. So the first game is Worms Open Warfare, and this was £3. And I've had a quick glance at my PSP collection and it's not there, and I thought for £3 I should be picking it up. Then we have these two puzzle games. They're £1 and £1.50 each. Nothing too amazing there. If you want to see what they look like at the back, they look like this. Never played it. Seems like just a standard puzzle game, but it's got music. It's got, one of them, as I say, it's got music from Chemical Brothers, Black Eyed Peas, etc., and Gwen Stefani. So that's interesting. So that was £1 and £1.50. I assume it's a fusion between music and some puzzle games. I'm not too sure exactly, but together they were only £2.50, so I thought I'd pick them up. Next game is, I love my racing games, especially on the handheld, and I like arcade games, I like simulating games. I'm not too bothered. I like open-ended games like Pursuit Force or even the GTA games on the PSP, but this is more of a simulator, and that is F1 2009, and that was £3. And the graphics look pretty nice on it. I played the F1 game, I can't remember which one I've got on my Vita, but I played that for hours and hours when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it, and everything's there and complete. Okay, so then we have the two good games, and unfortunately this is a Platinum version. However, I really wanted it. I don't have it in my collection, and that is the Namco Museum Battle Collection. And the games has got 20 classic arcade games, including Galaga, Rally X, Pac-Man, etc. So I'll be having a go at this game in the near future. Anything else that's sticking? Dig Dug, King Balloon, Rolling Thunder, and they said they got 4 brand new updated versions of new graphics and new features for Pac-Man arrangement, Dig Dug arrangement, Galaga arrangement, and the new Rally X arrangement. It's quite funny because it says Game Over at the bottom, just like it used to in the old days. So this was £12, and it's a game I definitely don't have in my collection. I'll be adding to my PSP collection. And the game which I'm actually most excited for, which cost me £8, a little bit less than the previous one, and that is Crazy Taxi Fair Wars. Now, I love Crazy Taxi. I love the Sega Dreamcast when it came out. As you've seen in my previous video when I found all those Dreamcast games in the CEX in Solihull, but I loved Crazy Taxi. Played this for hours and hours, and this was £8. And if you want to see what the graphics or the pictures look at the back, look like that. And inside, everything seems to be complete and in order. So out of all the PSP games, I'd say I'm most excited to giving this one a go. Now we're moving on to the PlayStation games. The PlayStation games which I call the Hidden Gems. They're in packets. They're in packets because, as I mentioned at the start, these games were not on display. They were kept in their shelf drawers behind the scenes in the shop. So I had to ask for them specifically. I knew what games they had based on them. I asked them for a list in the past, and I went online and saw what PS1 games by filtering it by shops. So I managed to find these games, and none of these games I already have in my collection. So it's going to take me a little bit longer because I haven't actually opened them and gone through them. And this is how they store them at the back. Put the bag around it with a little bit of a rubber band or so. And that's how it's kept. So I'll be opening this for the first time with you guys. Now they're all meant to be complete. I hope nothing is missing. And the first one is Bubble Bobble, also featuring Rainbow Islands with manual boxed. And this was £18. The case itself has minor cracks, but I'm never that fussed with PS1 games because I can always change more valuable games with other cases. But the case is cracked, and this was £18. And let's just check it's there. Yep, manual's there. It's got a sticker on there from Electronics Boutique, if anyone remembers that back in the day. And the disc is in mint condition, so I'm happy with that. That's the first PS1 game that's going to my collection. I have to open this one, and this one doesn't have a price on it, so I'll have to check the receipt of how much I paid. Because, as I mentioned in the past, the games they keep in the back, sometimes the prices are not actually on the labels, and then you just have to go on the app and have a look, or ask them to scan it once you've asked them to get the game out. Once again, the case is in not very good condition, it's cracked. But I don't own this game, and I'll have to check the price. But this is Star Wars Masters. I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars, but I'm not... Cassie? Is that how you say it? Please let me know the best way to pronounce this in the comments. And this is the artwork at the back. And inside, let's just check, there's the cover, the manual's there, the disc is there. And it's in nice condition. It's one of those black label games, so I'm always looking for black label games. Well, like I said, everything inside is in good condition, but the case is not so in great condition. So I can try and look up the price for those of you interested how much I paid for that. And that was £15. That Star Wars game on the PS1 was £15. Another game which doesn't actually have the price, just the label on it. So I'll have to check this up. I don't think it'll be too expensive. And that is, as you probably... Oh, the case in amazing condition. It's like almost like new. And that game is Wacky Races. Now, who remembers the cartoon? Well, I can't remember the dog that was always laughing. It was quite funny. My dad used to watch Wacky Races when he was young as well, which is quite funny because he's always getting into trouble, isn't he? So that's the manual. It's a black label game. And this one is in mint condition. I'm talking about the case, the manual, everything. The manual doesn't even have a single crease on it, so I wonder if it's ever actually been played. Probably not. And just have a quick glance off the side, everything. But yeah, everything looks really nice for this. That's the back artwork. Wacky Races, let me check the receipt. That was only £10. I'm actually quite happy with that because it was only £10 and the condition is amazing. 2 games now, final 2 games. They're in dual cases, there's double dual cases, so, and they're in the same franchise, same follow-up to it, so you can probably guess what it is. These games don't actually have the prices on, they'll open them both up first. I'm just hoping, I've been looking for these 2, they're not that rare. Well, they're relatively hard to find in person, you can find them lots of these copies on eBay. But there always seems to be something missing or a manual missing, and I wanted to just pick them up both together, and this CEX actually had them both together. So I was very pleased with that. The prices are not on here, but I can tell you how much they were. They were £15 for the first one and £20 for the second one. Has anyone guessed what games they are? Anyone guessed yet? Oh wow, the condition is really nice. Just like the other one. I need to check if the same person handed them as Wacky Races. Fear Effect 1 and Fear Effect 2. Can't see any cracks on the cases. So let's start with Fear Effect 1. Everything. Oh, there's a minor crack on the back, but everything else, it's really, really nice. Just check, hope everything's in there. Because they have the 4 discs. Disc 1 of 4. The manual. Disc 2 of 4. And 3 and 4, so I can show you. First 2 discs, and the second 2 discs, and the discs, that is in amazing condition, just like Wacky Races. Let's check the second one, make sure I don't crease it while putting it back. Fear Effect 2, this has literally no cracks on the case. Fear Effect 2, never actually played the Fear Effect games. Heard good things about it. I assume it has the tank controls, just like the Resident Evil games. Let me know if I'm talking a load of rubbish. Oh, thank God. So I just had a look. I couldn't find the manual. It was at the back, so I was getting worried that I had a game which didn't actually have the manual. So 4 discs again, first 2 discs, make sure the right ones, 2, 3 and 4, everything's there, so I'm pleased with that. And those are the final 2 games on the PlayStation 1 that I picked up at this pickup. And just to confirm, Fear Effect 1, I probably said this already, was £15, and Fear Effect 2 was £20. So together they're £35, which I thought was a good little pickup. So in total, in both visits on the same day, some of you probably think I don't go there on the same day, but just as a proof, here's the receipt with the time and date for when I went there the first time, and then about an hour after, the second time when I went there for the PlayStation 1 games. So on the receipt 1 I paid £89, and that was everything excluding the PlayStation 1 games. And on the second receipt, which was just the PS1 games, was £120. So together we're looking at £210 for this bundle, which is a little pricey because none of the games are particularly... the Pikmin 2 actually was quite expensive, it was £45. On this trip I actually went to a charity shop and there was quite a few sealed DVDs which I picked up. However, I picked them up just to resell. There was about 10 DVDs sealed which cost me £3. I'll probably get about £20–25 for them on eBay. And that was my pickups from Saturday, not Sunday, from my local Sutton Coldfield CEX. So in total, spent £210, and I believe we're on episode 7 now in terms of game pickups. Once again, thank you very much for everyone that leaves a comment, that likes these videos, but helping me go forward. If you can leave more comments, like the videos, and try to catch up on any episodes which you may have missed, because I understand I've been uploading these episodes quite intensely because I'm doing quite a few pickups recently. And please, please, please do give me a subscribe, and I'll see you soon.